comes and certain things to come, he said, you do that. You declare things to come. They wouldn't know about this resurrection to come if God didn't tell it to them. Okay? Certain things are to come hereafter. They may know that you are God's. Yea, do good or do evil, they may be dismayed, impress us, God is saying. Do something good, do something evil. He's going to give them a chance to stand up and declare themselves and defend themselves. Because you're saying, we're God, he's saying, I'm God. Well, the real God, please stand up. It's going to be a contest in the days to come. Like you understand why he would kill somebody who came down the word from him he didn't give. Because his word is all important, his word is immutable, and he cannot lie. Really? They're coming down with a word from him about an event to take place, and they take that word and that event and turn it into a lie. To take folks off after other gods. That's what's such a big deal. Okay? Behold, you are of nothing. Did anybody tell you that? Well, I drink nothing. One guy told me, he said, I can buy you and sell you. And he could. An abomination is he that chooses you. Your CEO is an abomination. What he chose you is an abomination. That's man. That's fighting words. Yeah? Some guy comes and tells you that, and so the one who chose you, your God, your leader, is an abomination. Well, what does that make you? Abominations. I have raised up one from the north, he shall come from the rising of the sun, so they call upon my name, and he shall come upon princes as upon mortar, and as a powder treadeth clay. That's something else. Verse 8, 42. I am the Lord. That is my name. I am the Lord. This here is the Lord, does that mean? Anything else is not. Anything else is a Lord. Answerable to the Lord. I am the Lord. That is my name, and my glory will I not give to another, neither my praise to graven images. I like this stuff. I'm just reading this because I like it. Okay? Chapter 43. Verse 11. I, even I, am the Lord, and beside me there is no Savior. Nobody can save you but me. 21. This people have I formed for myself, that's you and I. They shall show forth my praise. When somebody said we come to song service late, that's our job. As a preacher, to show forth his praise. Why? How can you take that as a light thing? Like you do when I get there. Of all the appointments and commitments we have in the entire week, even above our job, our commitment should be to come here and sing his praises. Amen. Why? Because of who he is. That's right. Amen. No other reason. Because of who he is. And for him to give us breath, to allow us to do that for him, to sing his praises, you know what a great honor that is? It's the greatest honor in the world because everybody can't do it. Only his people. Don't take it like that. 44, verse 8. Is there a God besides me? Yea, there is no God. I know not any. This one tell you I know everything. I don't know God like me. Chapter 45, verse 18. For thus said the Lord that created the heavens, God himself that formed the earth and made it. He's going to ask them, how was the earth formed? So they don't look stupid. Because they've been willfully ignorant of the fact that the words were framed by the word of God. He said, listen, that answer ain't going to work. They can't talk about, well, you know, we start talking mathematical terms and physics and all that kind of stuff. God said, I spoke it. You do it. Speak it. That's proper work.
Yes.
That creation, that poem, the creation, is a nice poem. It's a very visual poem, but it's worthless. God said, I didn't get down in the mud and get my hands dirty and make the earth. He said, I spoke it into existence. I spoke the space for it to go into. Wow. That's why things that are seen are not understood by the things that appear. You can't study the origin of the universe by doing Mars rocks. It won't tell you anything. You can't study the beginning of creation by studying the rocks and the metals that these planets are made from, because God said they were made from that. It's like studying the origin of the human body and going to the dust. You would never go there. Would you? The last place to go to study the human body, how it came into existence, would be the dust. And God said, I made it from dust. And when it dies, the proof that I made it from dust, it goes back to what I made it from.
That's right. Yes.
It's a part of every funeral. Ash to ashes and dust to dust.
Yes.
Why, guys? Because he said that's where it came from. How can that be a part of every funeral? Except God made it a part.
Wow.
He emphasized to the living again. You came from dust, you're going to go back to the dust, but you have a soul that's made with your dust body that's going to live forever. It's going to give an account of itself. It's immortal. It says God breathed into man the breath of life, and man became a living soul. There's more than just dust and a frame and a body. That body goes back, that soul is forever. It has to give an appearance for God and say what it allowed the body to do while it was in that body. Who runs the show, the body or your soul? Soul got to talk. That body can send you down. Or you can make that body take you to heaven. For thus said the Lord that created the heavens, God himself that formed the earth and made it. He hath established it. He created it not in vain. He formed it to be inhabited. When this earth is no longer, John said, I saw a new heaven and a new earth, and a new earth is going to be inhabited. It won't be ever uninhabited. And this has gone through different periods before. In Jeremiah's time, he writes about the day, in the dateless past, he said, I beheld the heavens, and they were void. Everything was empty, and the mountains moved slightly back and forth. And then it was recreated. Then we read in Genesis chapter 1, and the earth became without form and void, and darkness upon the face of the earth. What did God do? Recreated it. But it's on a recreation each time. It's a patch job. He said, when it's all over, I'm going to burn the whole thing up and redo it. And John says, I saw a new heaven and a new earth. Nothing like I've ever seen before. Why? Because God established in his word, intended for the earth to be forever. And he cannot lie. It's got to be forever. Why? Because he said so. Just as simple. It's going to be forever, and he said it's going to be inhabited. Forever. I've taken it away further than that. When you read in Isaiah chapter 9, your time today, Chris? 14 minutes ago? All right. Isaiah 9. I couldn't go right this direction, but it's okay. Real familiar passage, as the preacher say, verse 6. Here's the preacher church at Christmas time. For unto us a child is born. Unto us a son is given. Here's the thing I had about the Christmas thing. Oh, you know, Jesus wasn't born on Christmas, but the world must act like he was, okay? Is that it constantly keeps God in the baby mode. Baby Jesus. A lot of pressures. They forget baby Jesus grew up. You understand? And baby Jesus said, you know, I came out from heaven. And one day he did what? He went back up again. And he had witness of angels. They said the same Jesus he gone up in heaven. So come again in like manner to see him go up. Where's he at? He's alive and in heaven. Don't keep him in the manger. That Jesus grew up. Here's his future. Unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given. And the government shall be upon his shoulder. What government? The world, the universe. He'll be Governor Jesus of the universe. Digest that. And his name won't be called Jesus forever. This name will be called Wonderful. I mean, does that tell them that they say name describes a person's personality, the characteristic? They're going to see him, Mr. Wonderful. All right. That's what it says. It says his name should be called Wonderful. That will be his name. And now they call lawyers that, counselor, but no lawyer is going to compare to him. I believe that the term counselor would be banned by use of lawyers, like reverend is for preachers. God said holy and reverend is his name. You shouldn't call him a preacher reverend. It's not a name a preacher can carry. God said, I alone am holy and reverend. Call me reverend, Reverend God. Right? It says here, He's going to be called Counselor. He'll be going to be Counselor of the world. I mean, somebody who said all this stuff, he said, it's worth to be called Counselor, don't you think? Takes a lot of brain power to do things he did. Call him Counselor. He'll be called the Mighty God. Is that, you wonder who Jesus might be? It says right here in his word, a son is given, a child is born, this child will be called the Mighty God. Who else is Jesus but the Mighty God? Y'all with me now? Don't try to me now. He said, I'm the Mighty God. I took the Mighty God, put a seed in a virgin's womb and came forth and was born of his own self. That's the question of Abraham. Is there anything too hard for the Lord? And walk in the body like your mind. Why did you do it for? Because as God, he couldn't die for your sins. As God, he had no blood to shed for your sins. So I put a body on, and I'll make myself like the sinners who need my body, and I'll go to the cross willingly, and then I'll take my life, I'm going to lay my life down, like the power to pick it up again in 3 days, and go back up again and be their God. Be their Savior. I'll do it myself. That's what he did. Who died for you, the Mighty God? The same one who created you. I mean, we got to a real mess in the Garden of Eden. You didn't do it. I didn't do it. But because of what Adam did, the Bible says that we have been sold under sin. I mean, there's got good people who are going to go to hell. And a lot of bad ones are going to go to heaven. What's the problem? They all got a disease called sin. What did God come to do? To give you a remedy for sin. Because that's the killer. And sin requires death. He said for sin is death. There's a death penalty attached to it. So how do you get rid of the sin? I'll have somebody come and pay the penalty. Who is worthy, who has no sin, and he'll die, and I'll accept his sacrifice for the sins of the whole world. Paid for it. I got to just cash in on it. When I'm all done with that job as the Son of God, I'll go back to becoming the Mighty God again. And the everlasting Father. The Mighty God, the everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace, of the increase of his government, and peace shall be no end with stand. His government shall go forever. He's going to have it the new earth, the new Saturn, the new Mars, the new Jupiter, the new Mercury. He'll have all those. And then as when they get filled up, he'll move around. After a while, every star you see will be filled with his people. An ever increasing kingdom that'll never come to an end. I mean, you know, if you're going to get on the ground floor, something great. This is it. Somebody said that Seiko came, when Seiko first came out, you know, there was something stock for like 35 cents a share. And then a lot of rejects. People said it's not going to be coming out of it. I don't know what Seiko's shares and stocks are for now, but they're way more than 35 cents. You know, he's calling you the sons of God on the ground floor. They said to you, beloved, now you're the sons of God, and it doth not yet appear what you shall be. But you know that when you see him, you shall be like him, for you see him as he is. What he said, you're going to be like me. I'm not making you to be server. I'm making you as my son to exceed me. You'll be greater than me. His son exceeded him. Didn't he? Jesus said, you've heard son unto you, thou shalt not kill. Well, who said that? God the Father at Mount Sinai. But I say to you, whoever hates his brother without a cause is worthy of death. That's why it says, see that you're not refusing like he's the speaker, because he's the last day speaker for God. He's the last speaker. His message exceeds God the Father. He said, they did not escape who neglected him at Mount Sinai. How much more so should we not escape if we return from him who's speaking from heaven? He's the head speaker from heaven. It's him. Post that one. Okay? And the throne of David, and upon his kingdom, to order it, and to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth, even forever. He made a promise to David, said, you're going to never want somebody to sit upon your throne. You're going to have an everlasting dynasty. And here he makes mention of it again. And he makes mention of it after he talks about the everlasting, the mighty God, the everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Now he goes back to David's throne. It's on the earth. He said, it's going to be forever. I'm going to sit upon it. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this. What is it, God? My word. Immutable counsel, my word. I cannot change my word. He didn't confirm this one. He didn't bother. He just said, that's what it is. That's what it is. Good. I think that's enough. become a